Live from beautiful Ohio, it's the OK Boomer podcast, featuring siblings, the real Jean and Laura.
Hello, I'm Jean.
And I'm Laura. And we are here to encourage all you boomers, millennials, and everyone to be happily okay together. Hi, Jean. How are you?
I'm feeling very okay, but I have to start off right away with a question for you.
Oh, no. I hope I'm ready. Yes.
All right, ready?
Sitting.
We had a great reason for naming our podcast OK Boomer. What was it exactly? I sort of remember, but do you remember?
Well, luckily, I'm on my fourth cup of coffee.
Uh-huh.
So I think I do. Oh, Jean, that seems so long ago. Really way back in December, January, we got the idea. And I think maybe before that, I think it was our kids were kind of using the expression, okay, boomer, but we thought that they were just being nice, I think. We thought it was like a fun, positive, hey, you're okay, we're a boomer. But then we read into it, so we thought that would be a fun name for our podcast.
Right, like a pat on the back. Okay, boomer, wham you on the back, right?
Exactly. Very a positive affirmation. We're okay.
I'm okay. You're okay. Okay, boomer. But
then we thought maybe we should look it up, Google machine, see what it says. And we were a little horrified to realize it was actually a very derisive term. Like it's an eye-rolling, you silly old person, you know nothing comment. Yeah.
Like, okay, boomer. Right? Kind of that.
It's all in the expression and the eye rolling. Yep.
Okay, boomer. But we're not that. That is not our podcast. Ours is to be okay.
Yes, and to just say we love you millennials. We hope you learned to understand us. Really just to truly listen to millennials, have them listen to us, and just learn to be happily okay together.
So like we should get the Nobel Prize or something.
Oh gosh, I never thought of that. Maybe we could.
Yeah.
For bringing millennials and boomers single-handedly, you and I, together.
Because we do love them and we do want everybody to be okay. We're all okay.
Yeah, we really do. And you realize we're doing this in, of course, beautiful Ohio.
Right, which has finally turned beautiful. We've gone from snow to hot.
Yeah, just like that. If you're not from Ohio, this is what happens. We have cold rain, snow mix for months, and then boom, as in boomer, it's the coffee. It turns sunny and hot, which over Memorial Day, which we just had, it was wonderful.
It was wonderful. We were all joking up here at the lake because the Friday was very cold and blustery. And we were like, oh, yeah, happy start of summer. And then by the next day, well, we're not quite ready to complain about how hot it is, but soon we will be complaining about how hot it is.
Because that's what we do.
Right.
We complain about the snow and the cold, and then all of a sudden we complain about the heat.
Yes, but I had a great holiday weekend, and you did too?
You betcha. Lots of hot dogs and brats.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we've done this thing where we grill shrimp and like kielbasa sausage kebabs. Really good.
Ooh, that would be good with hot sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of hot sauce.
Yes.
Oh, dear. Yeah. I did a boo-boo. My son-in-law, because I love visiting my millennials, baked, I don't know if I told you this, baked delicious chocolate chip peanut butter cookies.
Okay.
Absolutely out of this world. But the twist is he put in ghost pepper hot sauce.
Oh, no.
He didn't tell me. I tried one. It was so hot and spicy, but I loved it. So I thought it would be real fun to surprise the OH. Took some cookies home, gave one to my OH. Let's just say I'll never do that again. I felt bad.
Oh, it's really too hot for him?
Yeah.
Those are really, really, really hot.
But it was good. I got to say, I need the recipe. Anyway.
There you go. That's an interesting story. Good. All right. Hot peppers. Well, so let's segue, not very well this time, but we'll kind of segue into our next topic.
Sometimes we're better at segueing than
I
others,
like to
but
segue,
yes.
but this isn't bad because we're looking at we're starting. We have the unofficial start to summer, and we've already talked about how when we started this podcast earlier in the year, and
Yes.
I happened to look back. Oh, by the way, I think this is actually our 17th episode. It might be numbered as 15, but we had 2 bonus episodes.
That's right.
So
it's a bonus. Yes.
not that there's anything special about 17, but I remember back on episode 5 we celebrated. So I guess we'll celebrate for episode 15 semicolon.
Why not?
Yeah. So
it's a multiple of 5. It works.
So I look back and okay, I found a couple things that really surprised me. I listened to some of the old podcasts for fun, which I have to say, and I think you've said this too, Laura, we actually like to listen to ourselves, don't we?
Embarrassingly so. Well, I think I go into this wondering what on earth do we sound like? How many gulps of coffee can you hear me slurp down? Is my voice crackling, which it tends to? But oddly, I'm okay listening to myself.
We are
that's
okay.
Weird to say. So did you listen to a few old
I
episodes?
did. And the one I started with was the one that's, I believe it was January 13th, and it was Time in a Bottle.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
Yes, Time in a Bottle. And back then we talked, the reason we picked that topic and early on is we wanted to talk about how retirees, how we've adjusted, because time really changes when you're now retired or getting ready to retire or you're having.
Right.
So we talked about that and saying, it was kind of hard, but there's that feeling of you're able to sleep in and you're able to have your whole day to yourself. And little did we know, right? I mean, January 13th, we never would have thought that 2 months later, time would change.
Completely.
Yes.
I mean, completely. The way your day looks every day. Yeah, we had no idea. And I keep talking about it. I mean, it is interesting. We did talk about time because various conversations with my friends, my kids, everybody is amazed, I think, that their days actually go by pretty quickly. Even though we're quarantined or have been, now everything's opening up. But how all of a sudden it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you have no idea how you got there.
Right. And I would say I have read too, I agree. March seemed to go slowly, which is odd because that's when we were trying to get things sorted out. But now it's going fast like it always did.
Oh, yeah. So it hasn't been that bad in a way. It's just interesting. Yeah, my days are flying by, but it seems like forever ago that we were normal early February. Really normal for us here in Ohio till probably the middle of March.
Right. And I think since then, since March 14th, and you probably have too, I've cooked or helped prepare 3 meals a day at home.
Yeah.
I know. If you had told me I would be doing that for over 2 months, 3 meals a day, and pretty, not bad meals. Not bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty okay with it. I don't even question. It's never that question of, where do you want to go out to eat tonight? It's just, what do we want to drag out of the freezer tonight?
Yeah, and I've mixed. That's been fine. So little did we know that our time was going to change, and we will never forget this period, I'm sure. And another thing that I heard in another episode is we were by February, and we were recording ahead of time back then.
Yes.
We kind of discussed it. We even discussed with Pat, our producer. Yay, Pat. We discussed with her, how much should we talk about the virus in our podcast? Because at that time we thought, by the time the podcast comes out, it might be so old.
Yes, we had high hopes back then.
And we didn't want to like really date ourselves or be obsolete or have a really boring podcast like talking about some. Well, okay, of course that was another awakening. That's
Right. Obviously, it didn't matter how much we talked about it because we will be talking about this for a long, long time.
yes, but
Yeah.
something fun we could be talking about, and this was in another podcast.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I got some questions after it, and this was a more recent one. People said, "What's a cream stick?"
Oh, be still my heart.
What's a
Cream
cream
stick.
stick? Kind of like Lady Grantham on The Crown when she said, "What's a weekend?" It's like the same thing. What's a cream stick? Well, it
And
turns out, I believe I found out in California they have something similar, or maybe the exact same thing we are eating and loving, but they call them long johns.
I have heard of that. Now, here's the question, Jean.
Yes.
Are long johns filled with cream?
I know. That's a good
Or
question.
are they just donuts, long, thin donuts? I don't know. And the only reason why I say this, it's a very important question. I'm so glad
And
we're
we need
tackling it
input.
today.
So I hope I get more comments about this. Yes.
Yes, people, please comment. This is serious. When I was in Chicago years ago, my kids went to school out there. I remember being at a Dunkin' Donuts late at night. We were all hungry. I was so excited because they had maple frosted long johns.
Oh, okay.
I happily bought two, and they were empty. I kept looking for the cream. There was no cream.
Okay, so that's so what we need to find out is like what's a cruller, because I would call something like that more like a cruller. Who calls them cream sticks? Who calls them long johns? Do you have any other names for them? All right, so
Yeah,
more
could
to
be.
come.
Now, I just quickly with the cream sticks, I am so pleased to announce that my daughter, who lives in Chicago, they got takeout at, I think it's called Ciso Mio. I may be saying that wrong, but that's a very famous Chicago restaurant, opened up an Italian restaurant, and their new dessert that they are known for, guess what it is?
Sue. No. What?
Cream sticks. She said they're out of this world.
Oh, I bet. Oh, I bet. I mean, right.
All right, moving on.
Well, we're moving on to. I think we can. We finished our analysis of this regarding vacuum cleaner cords, and I think we can now pretty safely say that the Willy Nilly cords won.
Bingo!
Yes. Right. You vacuum and then you just sling that cord back on and you don't worry about it.
Thank you, listeners, for agreeing. Willy Nilly is best. I kind of can't wait to tell the OH.
I know.
Loose vacuum cord. It just makes sense. I mean, why damage and tighten those cords when you don't have to?
Unwrap it again. You know, we have dogs.
Yeah.
We're just going to.
Such wasted energy. Now, have you seen? I love all these TikTok things.
You do.
I'll talk about another one later.
Okay.
But they have some. I don't think I've ever done this, but people bored in quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
They're images of different people taking their vacuum in their home, holding the cord, and they're pretending their vacuum is their dog. And they're walking the vacuum, but like they're walking a dog.
So how do they do it? Are they actually pulling on the cord?
Yeah, they're kind of like away, and they got the cord, and one hand has the cord, and obviously they still kind of have to push the vacuum, but they just call it like walking the dog.
Laura, this is the funniest thing. So they are walking their vacuum cleaners. Are they? You know, I'm worried about cords. Are they pulling on the cord?
Like, are they tugging and racing off for the car going across the picture window?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you have to watch it. It's pretty funny. I'll see if I can find one and send it to you.
But they're walking their vacuum cleaner. I might like to do that.
Just like you pretend it's a pet. It's a whole new fun way to vacuum.
Thank you for sharing that.
Any day.
Good tip. You are okay. That is a good tip.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. So anyway, Jean, we have had a feature before, which is called "Should Boomers Be Allowed to ...
Right, such as do online banking.
Online banking. Should we be allowed to Zoom? All those types of things.
Right. And some, yes, some.
Which we have. And I'm just going to interject quickly here, and then we'll get on to our topic.
Oh, we have a new topic.
Well, I'm just throwing this in, willy nilly. You, Pat, the gal that helps us with our podcast, and we did a Zoom meeting the other day. We did it. We boomers can Zoom.
We really did. And now you're doing it a lot.
Yes. And I might add that Jean, for her background, had some space thing and her hair was flowing. It was just a beautiful thing.
It was a lot of fun. But what's our new feature?
So here we go. New feature is, instead of should boomers be allowed to, it's going to be, should boomers be allowed to say these things to their kids or grandchildren?
Say them. Okay. Should boomers be allowed to say, and you're going to list some things to
some things, pretty much questions. Like, are we allowed to ask these things to our kids?
And I believe you did a little research on this. Is that right?
I did. Actually, we have a trainer. Our gyms have opened up now here in Ohio, which is exciting. And we are socially distanced and masked, the whole bit, very careful. But our trainer, who is a millennial, we asked this question of him, and he was right there ready with a bunch of things his boomer parents continue to ask him.
Oh, I can't wait. So these are things that us poor boomers would like to say to our kids, but should we?
That we tend to say to our adult millennials and millennials out there. Does it drive you crazy that we say this all the time? And boomers, do you agree? This is what we ask. Okay, are you ready?
All right. I can't wait. Okay, yeah.
Okay, number one, we tend to ask, when was the last time you changed your oil in your car? We do. Now, as a side note, and if my dear son is listening, you shall remain unnamed. There was a time about 3 years ago that he was leaving our house to go back to college, 4-hour drive. We get a phone call that he is on the side of the road because his car is just pretty much dead stop. And what was the reason?
Oh, dear.
He had not changed his oil in
Yeah.
So maybe a worthy question.
See?
Okay.
It might be. Now, we tend to, I didn't realize oil change. We have a lot to say about it. We tend to actually, our kids live in town, so we help them out with that. We'll swap cars and take it in for them.
But you're taking it in for them. That's very nice.
That's nice. Okay, so, did you get your oil change? Well, that's important. Okay, go on.
It is important, but we feel the need to remind our children of this. All right. Yes. Number two, this only applies if you have a child who has a condominium. Did you remember to pay your HOA? Your homeowners.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Good.
But we feel the need to ask this. 3, this seemed to be a big one. Are you sure you're saving enough money every month?
I don't think that's dear.
I thought that was a fun one.
It is.
So,
yeah.
Number 4. Now, mind you, this is our trainer. So he's in very good shape, very health oriented, but his boomer parents continually ask, are you sure you're eating well enough? Are you eating healthfully?
Now, do you know if they always say that or if they're saying that because of these times?
No, I think these are just general questions.
Okay.
Throughout his adult millennial life. The
poor guy.
He says there have been times as an adult he has lived at home.
Right.
And then he always gets the question, did you lock the door? Like if he went somewhere.
Yeah.
And did you get the mail today? He said those were just always asked.
Yes, and getting the mail. The mail time is still extremely important in the life of a boomer. Yes.
It actually is. And I really related to that because every day, the OH and I get all excited and say, do you want to walk to the mailbox? It is an exciting event. And we're very disappointed if we walk down there and the mail person is running late.
Right.
Yeah.
No wonder
so
your day
sad.
goes by so fast. You have so many wonderful events.
I know.
No
And
wonder.
today was especially exciting because we did our little trek to the mailbox. The mail was there, but even more importantly, the neighbors with their 3 millennial children who all came home for the corona.
Yeah.
They all marched past, and it was almost like we had people to talk to.
So the gas.
So it's a social event. All right.
Oh, nice. Okay, there's more questions. There's more cringy.
There's a few more. Basically, I think we just can't talk as a boomer. But all right, number 6.
Yes.
With any problem in life, we ask, but did you call them? Now, let me explain.
Okay.
Many times our children will call, I can't get this, or this broke, who do I call? Or, something's wrong, I think, with my bank statement. What should I do? Anything. I tried to return something. I haven't gotten the credit yet. Whatever the problem is.
Yes.
They always come to us for answers. We always say, but have you called them? Pick up a phone and call. And the answer always comes back, oh, Mom, nobody calls nowadays. You email, you text, you email. Nobody calls. Nobody calls.
Huh.
Yes. But I guess we as boomers think just pick up a phone and call. But they don't.
Yeah.
They're kind of horrified by that. All right. Number 7.
Yeah.
Do you have enough gas in your car?
Oh, really? You and somebody? Oh, come on. What kind of kids are these? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
No, I have never.
Apparently, invariably, our kids will come home, will say, do you have enough gas in your car? And they're like, oh, yeah, I should probably get some. So, number 8.
Yeah.
Are you keeping your place clean?
Okay, now that's just getting nosy and weird. I mean, I wouldn't say that.
I don't know. I don't ask that. I agree. I don't ask that. Okay. Number 4, which I have asked, this is more for our current times. Did you get your stimulus check?
Yeah, I did ask that. Yes.
Yep.
And now we have one child who didn't do direct deposit, get the direct deposit, so he got a check, and so I keep asking him, did you cash your check? Now I have to say I do say that.
Well, right, because a lot of times you're right, because we still write checks to people,
which they don't like getting checked,
because then they have to cash it, which there again you have to go into a bank and talk to people.
I don't know if they even like getting gift cards anymore either. I think they all want e-cards, huh?
I'm silent.
You're silent.
E-cards. Oh dear. What are oh dear. Oh, I feel so old. I didn't know this. You mean we don't send gift cards anymore? We do like gift cards over, like send an email?
I can't even talk. I'm taking away your.
I didn't know this. I thought it was
I think so. I think they just would rather have it be an electronic thing. I believe. Yes.
Oh, I'm so glad you told me.
Right. And that segues. Here's a segue. That segues into my thing I tend to say, which is, did you send Aunt Laura a thank you note? I do say that.
Yeah, yeah. And they're real good then about sending something.
Yeah. Did you? And I probably tend to ask, I don't ask that much about those personally things like, are you keeping your house clean or that? I probably tend to, I'm sure my kids cringe because I'm asking tech questions. I tend to call them for like tech questions. How do I, fix my computer? Something's wrong with the computer. Something's wrong with the internet. That's what I probably ask. And
see, your sons are, the one in particular is just so good at tech.
But even most kids would know. Most would know much more than I did. But so I'd be interested. I hope we get some other comments about this too. Things that you say that either you cringe when your parents say them,
yeah,
or a boomer you remember,
right? that you always ask your kids this.
Yeah, but we love them. We're asking out of love.
Of course we love them. We
asking out
love
of
and adore
love.
them. Yes, yes. And I'm sure there's just a huge list of other things I'm constantly asking that they're just thinking. What did I say? I over Memorial Day weekend I was with my wonderful daughter, baby, and her husband, which is just always a treat, mostly because I learn new things every time I go. Obviously, the baby is just my life right now. But I finally, my son-in-law said, you say this all the time. It is such a boomer thing you say. And apparently it's something that I think I'm sounding young saying it, but I tend to say what evs.
You tend to say what?
What evs, like EBS evs. Like he'll say something, I'll be like, what evs? And he says, oh, yeah.
Laura, you do not say what evs.
I say what evs all the time, and I feel like I'm pretty current saying that, but I'm not.
That's adorable. That is adorable. Well,
anyway,
we'll see. I'm going to start. I'll try to listen to myself too, and swallow back some of those thoughts, perhaps.
Yeah, swallow back those thoughts. Speaking of which, and then I promise I'll be done with all this. I was talking with one of my clients the other day who seemed very concerned about like meeting and looking at a house. And I assured her I wear the mask, the gloves, we'll social distance. There's no need to be concerned. And then I started choking on my spittle. Have you ever had that happen?
Oh dear! No, I don't know.
It happened again. I may have mentioned this before, but it happened again. I felt so awful because I'm trying to sound perfectly fine and healthy and we can meet and there's no problem. Then I just started choking all over the space. But yeah.
Oh dear.
Choking on your spittle. But go ahead.
Well, I've been wanting to play this game with you, Laura.
Yes.
And we don't seem to have time for it, but I think we have a teeny bit of time now.
So
let's switch gears a little bit. We'll play a little fun game. And thinking again back to past podcasts, it was a game. The concept for this game is I came up with it with my older son. We were just having fun, like dreaming of things and picking choices and planning things out. So we came up with picking your favorite amenities for your house. So the object of this game was first to list possible amenities you could have, and then what if you could only pick 3 or 2 or 1.
Yes.
And while I was thinking of sharing this with you, I saw, Gretchen Rubin, or you've heard of Gretchen Rubin.
Oh, yes. The Happiness Project. Yes. Wonderful.
And her podcast. And she asked recently, what are the greatest luxuries? So it's sort of the same thing. What are the greatest luxuries?
Okay.
Her answers.
Yes. So this is any kind of wonderful luxury.
Right. So she picked, and this wasn't like our game is you make your choices first. You have the fun is thinking of all the choices. But this is to lead us into it.
Yeah.
A window above the kitchen sink.
Okay. That's it?
A heated bathroom floor.
Okay.
Or a coffee machine. Those are her greatest luxuries.
A window above the kitchen sink, which I appreciate my window. I'm not sure if it would be my greatest luxury.
No, I don't think so either. I don't have do you have a heated bathroom floor?
No. I wear flip-flops everywhere.
Right.
So no.
I don't think I would need that either. I mean, yes, the floor gets cold, but you throw
the
down
coffee machine is a big one.
Yeah, that would be nice. I've been thinking about that. But there again, that'd be something else I'd have to ask my kids how to work it all the time. So be always needing them. So anyhow, the game is I'll get you started. So possible amenities I've thought of. This is all dreaming, because it's really not in my budget at all. So this is just dreaming. Hot tub, sauna.
Okay.
In-ground pool.
Yeah.
Which are very popular now, and
right.
People are fixing up their houses to stay at home forever. Okay. Pool table.
Mm-hmm.
Grand piano.
Mm-hmm.
The whole outdoor oven fireplace kind of thing. Entertainment theater room. one of those big full-size fridge and full-size freezers, those real big, like wolf.
Yep,
That
yep,
I
yep.
might really want. Any of those hit you, or do you have any others?
I gotta say, I'm just torn between the hot tub and the full-size fridge and freezer.
I know.
Here with the virus, it's nice to be able to stock up on those pizzas and have plenty of room.
Yeah, like Nancy Pelosi, right? I want her fridge and freezers, right? Fill it with all the ice cream. But it would be so nice to open up and there'd be all your beautiful foods.
Yeah, it's a dream. It's a dream.
So that's for sure the number one dream. And I think my number two dream, I really think I want to, and you have one. You are blessed with this. But I do want the grand piano.
I am blessed with it. I really am, which, of course, I can play my hymns and my beautiful Ohio on.
Yes. I love your beautiful Ohio.
Well, I like that. Well, may you have a big grand piano someday. And I hate to say this, Jean.
It's time for you to play your beautiful Ohio, isn't it?
I think it is. I can't talk about time. We started off with time in a bottle. Man, these 30-some minutes fly by.
I know. It's because I love you and I love chatting and thinking of things and thinking of positive things.
And I love you. And there were so many things I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the TikTok Space Odyssey, where everybody is doing silly things and playing the music from the 2001 Space Odyssey.
Well, you'll have to, write that down for next time.
I'll write it down for next time, because we're hopefully lifting off when this airs. We will know whether we sent our space off into.
I'm really excited. Yeah.
I know, me too. So anyway,
really excited about
it's time to say goodbye.
It is time to say goodbye. And to make it easy, just look us up at okpod.com.
Yes.
Just do that. Or any podcast app.
Right. I think we're OK_Boomer Pod, maybe. But just look at OK Boomer Pod.
Or Instagram. Yes. On Facebook.
But
if
we're
you know
there.
us personally, you can make friends with Jean Mater or Laura Bettinger. Spell it. I hope you don't mind that I said our names, but I'd really like people to follow us on Facebook too.
Oh, it's fine. There's nothing. I mean, that's fine. We're open books. We let it all out there. Whatevs, as they say. And thank you, Pat. We always thank you for somehow putting our podcast together.
Yes. All right. Have a great week till we chat again.
Until we chat again, toodaloo.
Be sure to come back to beautiful Ohio and the OK Boomer podcast. To listen to previous episodes or to drop us a line, visit okboomerpod.com.